period in Indian history spans from circa 600 CE to circa 1300 CE, and this period is to be located between the early historic and the medieval. This period signifies changes and continuity in Indian history, and B.D. Chattopadhyay has talked about this period as a much maligned period in Indian history because of the fact that Marxist historians have regarded this period as a breakdown of the civilizational matrix of the society. But we have to remember that the most important debate in Indian history, that is the feudalism debate, centered around this period. So what we find is that the feudalism debate, as well as the other kinds of formulations that was actually working within the framework of feudalism, was becoming imminent in this period. Another very important point of debate was centered around the structure of the polity. This was because we find that in this period there is multiplicity of powers. We have numerous ruling houses, which was different in the early historic period. And although historians agree that there were changes in the structure of the big kingdoms, there is no unanimity on the causative factor of these changes. So we can very well understand that there were different kinds of opinions regarding the changes in the structure of the kingdom. When we look at the Marxist historiography, we find that scholars like R.S. Sharma, B.N.S. Jadhav and the like, they want to put this period within the backdrop of feudalism, and they think that this was because there was decentralization of power, and which also led to disintegration. But there were oppositions to this view, and this came first of all in the writings of B.D. Chattopadhyay, where he was trying to show that we should not look at this period against the backdrop of feudal formation. What we should do is, it was not that there was a total change from the matrix of the early historic period. We have to posit this period within three perspectives. Number one, that there was local level state formation. Number two, we have seen that there was the structure of the Varna and Jati. So we have Jati, proliferation of Jatis in this period. And then thirdly, it was the acculturation of the tribes into the mainstream Brahmanical mode of religion.
Is there any relation between Indian feudalism and European feudalism?
Yes, of course, there is much relation, because the moorings of the Indian feudalism was brought from the ideas that were persistent in the historiography of Europe. R.S. Sharma and others borrowed the ideas of Henri Pirenne and Marc Bloch from the European concept of feudalism, and then put it lock, stock and barrel into the Indian scenario. What we find is that in the Indian feudalism, R.S. Sharma sought to see it in the whole process of the land grant economy. There was a time when we find that the rulers were granting lands to the Brahmanas as well as to the monasteries and the other religious institutions, for example, a Brahmanical Matha or a Jaina Vasadi. So these granting of lands were actually rent-free lands, which is known as the Agrahara system in Indian economy. So when this rent-free land was given, and there were some sort of judicial rights were also given to these donis, so the Marxist historiography looks at is as the diminishing of the rights of the rulers. So the idea of the coercive power of the ruler, that is dando, is not there anymore in the hands of the monarchs. So there it is seen that there is a total breakdown.